എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. ഇവിടെ നമ്മോടൊപ്പം ഉള്ളത് ശ്രീ മണിരത്നമാണ്. മണിരത്നത്തിൻ്റെ സിനിമ ജീവിതം തുടങ്ങുന്ന ഇപ്പോൾ 41 കൊല്ലമായി. 1983 വന്ന പല്ലവി അനുപല്ലവി എന്ന കന്നഡ സിനിമയിൽ നിന്നാണ് മണിരത്നത്തിൻ്റെ തുടക്കം. ഈ ഏതാണ്ട് അരനൂറ്റാണ്ട് കാലം സംവിധായകനായി ഇന്ത്യൻ സിനിമയിൽ തുടർന്ന് പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന മറ്റൊരാളില്ല. ഈ റെക്കോർഡ് ഒരു പ്രത്യേകത്തെ കാര്യം തന്നെയാണ്. കാരണം 3 തലമുറ കാലത്തോട് തുടർന്ന് സമ്മതിച്ചു കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളാണ് ശ്രീ മണിരത്നം. അദ്ദേഹത്തിനൊപ്പം ഞാൻ കടൽ എന്ന പടത്തിൽ പ്രവർത്തിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്, തുടർന്നും പ്രവർത്തിച്ച് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. ശ്രീ മണിരത്നത്തെ ഇവിടെ സ്വീകരിച്ചുകൊള്ളുന്നു. So, sir, my question is, our topic is about society and literature and movies. So, do you seriously think that film can communicate with the political and social environment of a particular period? Is there any role of movies in cultural development or political awakening?
So can I be honest?
You should be.
Yeah, I think my honest opinion is that the impact of movies sometimes we overrate. We think it's the most powerful medium, all that we are saying, but for a lot of things, it is forgotten by the time they reach the bus stop. However, it makes an impact at a phase of life. I know, when somebody is forming from say 10 to 18, when their ideas are, or their thoughts or their view of life and other things are forming, at that age, I think cinema can make a difference because it is something that they have been thinking and they're seeing a validation on screen. Yeah. I think the maximum impact is during, that formative years. Once you're formed, once you have clear ideas of what you like or not, films are something which also one of the inputs, not the only input. No, I don't think it is as critical as it is on your formative period.
There's a popular belief that cinema is a temporary kind of art because it has no lingering impact on the audience like literature or any other art form. So it's a kind of peripheral influence and it cannot influence profoundly the audience. Do you accept with it?
No, I think there are two different forms. If you compare it with literature, I think there's a huge difference because literature goes to your mind directly. What you read is what you visualize, what you see as a character, and the way the person thinks, and his logic and his behavior, his rationalization, all are brought out. Here, whereas this is like a mirror of life in films. Whatever thought process that can be explained in literature has to come out of an expression of an actor. And the setting of the mood and the ambience that you create. And it's a very minimalist art. Film is kind of crux of literature, can be free-flowing, can be absolutely wild and can encompass everyone. Whereas film is a lot more focused, more towards a short story format, maybe. But I think there is things that films bring which are very special. I think it is a full form, it brings all the art together in one form. It is, in that sense, it's a very, very special medium. It's a newest medium and it will only grow more and more, I think. It brings in literature, it brings in visuals, it brings in music, it brings in, all the human behavior, it brings in theater into onto screen, and it brings it at a very intimate space. You know, I mean, it is right there in front of you. So the impact of that is
Yeah.
different. I know, I think we cannot laterally compare literature with cinema directly, but I think one borrows from the other.
Yeah, personally, I believe cinema is more close to painting because I remember a lot of frames of Kadal movie, like paintings, and they are the interpretation of my script into the visual media. It's a moreover a collection of a grand gallery of paintings. That's my idea about movies. Good. So I am going to ask only two questions and allow the audience to ask questions more. The first thing is, I would like to ask about the movie Yuva. Yuva. In Tamil, Ayudha Ezhuthu. So you presented a students' movement in that movie. But in India, in the past 50 years history, there is absolutely no independent students' movement in India. Almost all students' movements in India are connected with some kind of political parties and motivated by the political leaders. There's no leaders emerge from students who leading in Indian politics. So what kind of idea you have about the students' politics and all that?
You know, this came from a real life. Yuva came from a real life character. In Osmania University, there was a person, a leader, I mean a student leader called George Reddy.
Oh.
The film is based around his, and he was assassinated. He was killed in the college campus. But the myth around him is that he was this man with a vision and had the drive and had the courage and had the strength to take it right in front. So I met a lot of people during that time, his brother and his family, and the moment at that period in Osmania University was strong. It was definitely political parties were involved around it, but still there was a voice, there was a representative, and that voice grew too much, and therefore somewhere it was subsided. You know, it was put to a stop. That's where it started.
So another question is a little bit controversial maybe. The first thing is you made a movie called Guru. While the movie released few years back, the general tendency of Tamil people was earning money is something wrong. So the people was against the hero because they consider him as a millionaire, is earning money from industry, so he's a bad person. So after a few years, nearly 15 years after, now there is a movie called Lucky Bhaskar. In it, the person who is earning money through scam is celebrated, and the movie was well received by the people. So what's the difference you are seeing from the release of Guru to Lucky Bhaskar?
Well, I think you're talking about the change in the society that has happened. But let me go back to Guru and tell you what I wanted to do in that film was that I felt that we were changing. I mean, from a Nehruvian society, that is after Manmohan Singh and Narasimha Rao, where we opened up, we liberated, and things had changed. There was an old school which to an extent got represented by the newspaper editor, you know, who belonged to the old thing, for whom all morals and all, you know, honor is very sacrosanct. And there is this new generation which felt that things are there to be moved so that you can move forward. They're not willing to wait in line, but if they're smart enough, they were willing to make the way, open the doors the way it was. It is all right to sidestep here and there to reach for the overall good or for their personal good, which will convert into overall good. So that was the change that was already happening at the time. At that time. Now that has gone further up with Lucky Bhaskar. I think it is just that I think we are evolving, and we know that this is reality, that there will be that aspect that is happening around us.
So what is your comment on that evolvement?
Sorry?
What is your comment on that evolvement towards this?
Yeah, I don't know whether we can make a judgmental thing. It is happening around us. You know, I mean, to say there's no corruption in India is just foolhardy. We know that it is happening every day, every piece, and the way it's spreading, it's really cancerous. I know, and we have to live with it. We know that it is happening, and within that, we are trying to find some honesty. Within that, we are trying to find some sanity to survive. And we are not ready to shut our eyes and saying those are not there. We are very clean, we are very pure. Yeah. We try to, I mean, all of us within ourselves also have a little bit of that. It is not that I've never crossed, never done anything wrong. I have. I can identify with it. But there is something which basic culture teaches you something which is really honest. So we are aware of things that are happening around us, and we try to form our own path within that.
Thank you. So the audience may ask questions to Maniratnam. Okay. Who is taking care of it? You can ask questions in Malayalam also. Yeah. He can understand Malayalam. I think you made a movie in Malayalam a few years back. So you can ask questions.
Hello. Yeah. Just being able to speak to you is a dream come true, sir. So I just wanted to ask you something. So the thing I noticed is that movies which were released in 1980s per se, movies released in 1980s, 1990s, they do not stay relevant in this current generation. But when I was rewatching Maniratnam or Saki or any of your movies for matter, they age so well. Those movies were way ahead of their times in terms of female characteristics, cinematography and everything, whatnot, story writing. Saki, she's a doctor. So I just wanted to understand what led you to write such amazing stories which are not at all problematic even to this date. So that timeless classics, how did you attempt to make so many of them, if not one? So thank you so much.
I think you're my friend, so you're saying nice things about my films. But when you start a film, you try to be just as honest as you can, and keeping in mind the audience you're talking to, speaking in a language which is there. And you hope, every filmmaker hopes that his film will stand time. But sometimes, to be honest, when you finish a day's shooting and when you go back in the car, you can already think of half a dozen things that you could have done better. So it is nothing that is fixed. If somebody asked me to see Maniratnam today, I won't be able to see it. I'll see only flaws in it. So you just try your best and try to be aware. The thing is that every filmmaker is first an audience. I've been a film watcher for a long time, and I'm a very, probably I'm more critical than most of them. I will be very particular about the kind of films that I like. So you've come from there, and you're aware of what you will think when you saw it on screen. So you try your best to make sure that it is honest, that it rings true, and still it's cohesive, and it is not gimmicky. Whatever technology that you're using will give it that base.
I have an idea about your question. The thing is, not the themes or the content makes the movie lost longing. The visual language. Actually, the visual language is changing within 5 or 10 years. You cannot watch a movie 10 years before movie because the visual language is entirely changed. So some masters are still continuing because their visual language is not outdated. That's the thing.
Hello, sir. Hello. Vanakkam, sir. It's an honor to stand and see you in front. It's always been a dream to ask this question. There's something about your movies, especially Maniratnam and their female lead. Something about them, starting from Maniratnam to, let's say, Alaypayude, Rosa, Ravan. There's something about the women characters. Is it a conscious decision to make the women characters so powerful in your movie, or it just happens?
No, the women around are all powerful people. They're very strong, they have very strong views, and it's something that you admire, and therefore it gets reflected on film.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And I completely disagree. Maniratnam is one of the greatest movies. And in 1986, when there was no talk about women empowerment, you showed that women character so powerful. So yeah, hands down, and it's my favorite movie.
See, almost all major classics in India are woman-centric. Next question.
Hello, sir. Again, it's an honor. It's a dream come true. You're my icon, everything. But my question to you is your movies, their titles, they're very, they themselves are a craft, you know, Maunaragam, Alepayude. Every movie titles, they themselves, we can go on talking about the titles themselves. So, Thug Life, did new generation influence you? Or I'm sure the movie will have a lot to speak about the title, but from you, without revealing anything, did new generation influence you, or what was the reason of transition from those Tamil really beautiful names to a new generation term like Thug Life?
I can't give you any smart excuse. It's just that sometimes it falls in place, and sometimes you don't want to fall into a cliche that your films will be only this way. And a title of a film is fairly very important even at the formative time of the script. You know, I mean, that kind of gives you a direction, gives you a definition. So when we are stuck on writing a script and when we are stuck on a scene, we go back and say, what is the title of the film? That's when we think. So it is important. And sometimes things just fall into place, and that becomes the definition. In this case, it was that. And it is, you're still talking to people who are today, you know, I mean, so just because I've lost my hair doesn't mean I don't have connection with people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Vanakkam, sir. Myself, Jason. I'm an artist. Sorry, sir, I'm not going to ask you any questions. I would like to show you a sketch I have done right now as a token of gratitude from all Kerala fans. Please, sir, if you don't mind, may I show to you?
Yeah, please.
You are going to ask this question? Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. So first of all, I must say this was an interesting session. As a film lover, I've enjoyed most of the films, mainly Roja, Bombay, Dil Se. But sir, I have a question about Ponniyin Selvan. Like Ponniyin Selvan is a legendary epic on the Troy dynasty, so. And I'll be honest, I read the book before I watched the movie, and it was very well drafted, so. But in the book, I read that there are a few other characters also, and I've noticed that you made the story pretty simple by not, over-complicating it. So, how tricky it was to adapt a book like Ponniyin Selvan?
How did we adapt a novel like that?
Yes.
Sir?
No. So I am the scriptwriter of that movie. So it's a very long movie, you know, very long novel. 2,000 around pages are there. So a movie needs only 120 scenes. For 2 parts, you have to take only 120 scenes maximum. So how to take the scenes? So we are not reading the entire text. We are just pinning the major scenes in the novel. And selecting these scenes, we are creating a flow out of it. See, the novel starts like a simple stream. Vandiyathevan is starting from a small village and he is traveling throughout various lands and he is reaching Tanjore. It takes nearly 300 pages. The story starts after the 300 pages. But the movie starts within 5 minutes. Then only it will be a script. So that's the compulsions of a script. So we are adapting scenes, not the story. That's the answer.
Namaste, sir. First, an honest confession, I have seen only Hindi movies. I come from Delhi. So, there is in almost all of your work that I have watched, I haven't watched all, is that there is a deeper, darker complexities of relationships which you explore in depth. And yet, there's more left unsaid about it. It's very subtle treatment. Subtle, but a discerning viewer can't miss. While the larger plot moves, whether it is Roja or Bombay or Dil Se, the relationship subtleties and complexities, they stand out. So is it, how do you do that? I mean, how do you weave it into the larger plot? Is it deliberate to keep it moving at its own pace, or you're actually deliberately keeping it subtle while this is an important focus for you? Relationships especially, it seems like a master class, the way you bring them out.
I think, the larger the picture, the window to it could be the characters. If you don't try to completely cover the macro thing, but we see it preferably through the eyes of characters, which makes it a personal story. And through the person, we travel and we encounter whatever is happening around us. So till you find that, vehicle through which you can deal with the subject, you don't deal with it, and then when you have vehicle, you go with that person and, with that character and reveal. So the character will have shades, character will have situations, will have shades, will have, whatever is there in real life that is happening around will get reflected onto it. But it is the vehicle for us to see the bigger picture.
Sir, it's lovely meeting you. And I watched Talapati for the first time without knowing that there is a whole Mahabharata subtext, and I was amazed when I watched it. And there is obviously the amazing work you've done in Talapati, and there are many authors today who, reinterpret Greek myths and all of that. What do you think is the allure of these mythological stories? What are these stories that stay for centuries, if not like thousands of years? What do you think is the allure? What is the anchor point for these stories?
Yeah, I think the reason why Talapati was made was that whatever was said then is still relevant today. I mean, we can relate to it. We can find, pieces of it around us, all around us. Even if you take Roja, again, it's the same thing. It's a Satyavan Savitri, which is still relevant. The reason why they're classics is because it's got some intrinsic quality which is very human, which is there, which lives beyond just time. They're just not stories. They are, they're reflections. They're, deeper in that sense that it stands centuries. And I think it's endless, the epics, the stories that it can give out, the movies that can be made out of them. There are millions. So, and he's an expert at it.
I wrote Mahabharata as 26 volumes as Venmurasu. So the main answer for your question is, you can use two words only: time-tested issues and perennial emotions. That makes classics. So classics will be there for always. So even after 500 years, somebody is going to make movies out of Mahabharata. That's the answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Maybe the robots will come in between and they'll be
That's true.
influenced.
The mic is not working.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, sir. Good evening. In your conversation with Maniratnam, with Bharadwaj Rangan, in the portion about Kannathil Muthamittal, you say that the Amuda story was primarily a vehicle to hang the Sri Lankan conflict on. So you said about, maybe youngsters at a particular age being impacted by films. How much do filmmakers take from society? All throughout, I thought, you really wanted to tell the times incident story, and then you set it in the context of the Sri Lankan story. But when I read that interview, I saw something really opposite. So how much of the society influences the filmmaker in Maniratnam?
I think society is the basic source, your life around and things that you see is your first fundamental input that is there. And the fact that you can identify with something becomes the next step in it. And I think every piece of art comes purely from the society, and even the most abstract form has its root in the world that we live in.
മലയാളത്തിൽ ആരെങ്കിലും ചോദിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ
Good evening. Sir, first of all, huge fan. So I just wanted to ask you that I had seen your interview in one of the round tables, and you told that, nowadays people are discussing about numbers more than stories. So our topic is society and stories. So when you release a film, I want to exclude Kerala from this because I think stories are celebrated here more than anything. So in Tamil Nadu or Telugu belt, mainly when a film releases, the first day people are very eager to know what are the numbers, like how much did the film collect. So does it bother you as a filmmaker, like when you're pitching a movie, people are going to think, okay, how much will that film make, more than the plot or the characters? Or so what's your take on that?
It is true. It's very sad that we are talking of numbers. Even the ordinary person, the industry talking of it is I'm not bothered about. But the person who's gone to watch the movie or is planning to watch the movie is worried about the numbers. Probably it is the Lucky Bhaskar era that Jeyamohan was talking about.
But sir, what I'm telling is, don't you think the production houses are like somewhat, gaslighting the audience a little bit? Like they're actually celebrating the fact, like before releasing the movie, they're telling, okay, this film will collect some 1,000 crores, 2,000 crores. So what do you think about that?
100%. We are, as production houses, we do. Till now the marketing was different. You're trying to bring audience to the theater and you're trying to tell things or show things which will attract them to the theater. Today the number seems to attract people to the theater. Therefore they're using it. They're just merciless.
Friend, I am the movie industry for more than 20 years. And I have to say one thing. The entire numbers referred by the media is totally wrong. Nobody can understand what's the real collection, what's the real money they earned, or what is the real money they lost. So the entire discussion is kind of a public entertainment, nothing more than that.
Hi sir, I'm glad I finally meet you. You're one of my inspiration from childhood. My question is A.R. Rahman. Hi sir, I'm glad finally meet you here after you're an inspiration from childhood. My question is, A.R. Rahman sir once said, I am not giving music to Maniratnam. Actually, Maniratnam is taking good music from me. So I want to know the secret of how that magic is going. എങ്ങനെയാണ് ആ ഒരു മാന്ത്രികം നടക്കുന്നത്, എങ്ങനെയാണ് അങ്ങനെ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്? ക്ലിയർ ആയിട്ടില്ല. ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ കൂടിയുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ പൊന്നിയിൻ സെൽവൻ സാറ് സിനിമയാക്കി, സാറിന് എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും വേറെ ഏതെങ്കിലും വർക്ക്, നോവലോ ചെറുകഥയോ മലയാളത്തിൽ ഇത് ചെയ്യാൻ ആഗ്രഹിച്ചിട്ട് ഡിസ്കഷൻ നടത്തിയിട്ട് പിന്നെ നടക്കാണ്ട് പോയിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഇനി മലയാളത്തിൽ ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാൻ ആഗ്രഹമുണ്ടോ എന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞാൽ കൊള്ളാം.
I really had a very strong desire to make a film in Malayalam with MT sir. Okay. I met him quite a few times, 3-4 times, and there was few things that we had worked on, thought about, discussed. Just that my fortune that it didn't happen, my misfortune. But I think from his conversation with him gave me an idea for my film. Irvar was a seed from M.T. Vasudevan Nair. I think today's Malayalam films are really setting a huge benchmark. I think there's so many brilliant filmmakers, brilliant writers, and artists. And the talent that is coming out of here is really amazing. We are all very envious. And so if today I have to think of a Malayalam film, I really have to brush up and pull up my socks and do something special.
He asked about your relation with A.R. Rahman. And what is your interest in music to derive music from him?
Yeah, see, music is such an abstract thing. You don't know, So somewhere the kind of film that you want to make is what, dictates you. So once you're clear on what kind of film that you're making, and Rahman is a very director-friendly music person. If he does something for you, you'd have done elaborately, you'd have worked on it, full, development, everything you'd have done. Orchestra you'd have done, you would have arranged, you would have done everything. And if you say it's not working, he will not, take it as a judgment on his music. He will just think that it doesn't work for you. Doesn't mean the music. It might work for something else, or he might leave it also. But that is the biggest advantage with him. It's not that he doesn't take it personally. And so it's very exciting to work with him because he's still trying to reach. He's still trying to do something new, not settle for anything. So even if I say, yeah, that is nice, he doesn't stop there. So it is not as though that I'm taking music. He is pushing himself, and I'm just a vehicle for him to push himself.
Yeah.
Sir.
Good evening, sir. It's really an honor to ask questions to you. I have two questions. I will ask in Malayalam. സാർ വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് മലയാളത്തിലൊരു ചിത്രം ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ഉണരൂ വിത്ത് ലാലേട്ടൻ. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഓർമ്മകൾ സാർ ഇപ്പോൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഓർത്തെടുക്കുന്നത്, ഉണരൂ എന്നുള്ള ഒരു ചിത്രം? രണ്ടാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാ വർക്കുകളും സാറിൻ്റെ ഈച്ച് ഓഫ് അവർ യുവർ വർക്ക്സ് വിൽ ബി എ ഫേവറേറ്റ് മാസ്റ്റർ പീസ് ഫോർ യു. അതിലേതെങ്കിലും ഒരു ചിത്രം സാറിന് വീണ്ടും ഒന്ന് റീവിസിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് ഏത് ചിത്രമാണെന്ന്?
Unaru was my second film, I mean, I had done a Kannada film called Pallavi and Pallavi. It had basically 3-4 characters in the film. And the next film I was doing was Unaru, and every frame was this many people in the frame. So I had no clue how to shoot that film. So I had to discover it. And it was completely, learning new way to shoot a film. And it was coming from Damodaran Master was the writer. So, I mean, I have few views, he has a few views. It was a wonderful experience to know how it can be exchanged, how you can fight over a script and then settle and then go away. So it was a very huge learning experience for me. And I think it was a stepping stone. I learned a lot from it, which helped me later when I made films.
And the second question is, what, in your opinion, what is your masterpiece? Your masterpiece. Do you have any idea to revisit it? That's the question.
Yeah, I have an idea. Once I make a masterpiece, I'll think about it.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Any other question?
Yeah. Sir, I've always looked at with all the female characters, as you said, in your movies. And also about the chemistry between the heroine and heroine in your stories. All except one. As we know, even in movies which do not having the central theme as love, as in Kannathil Muthamittu, they had an amazing chemistry, and the love story is essentially very beautiful without any kind of toxicity in it. But from that kind of a person who always portrayed love so beautifully in his movies, how was the transition to Kaatru Velile, which essentially showed a love story of an abusive or toxic couple? How were you able to transition into that too very realistically? The characters are kind of ones we see around us, even in these times. Also, my second question is, when can we expect you to create the old Kanathil Muttavattal kind of movies again?
Well, I think Katravilide is probably as honest as Maunaragam was. You know, it is no different. I think it is, that was happening at that time, it was real. And this kind of, that kind of relationship, and there is this kind of relationship happening all around us. You know, and to say that I'll see only this and not see this side at all is just being, you know, myopic. So it is something that is happening around. I've witnessed a lot of these instances, and I was amazed by one of the two who was in a toxic relationship being able to withstand so much, you know, and still have hope. Still, I think it's a stronger love story, you know. I mean, despite all that, there is still hope, and there is still, you know, resilience in that person to reach out, to give another chance, And I think that was as important a story to tell as Maunaragam was.
Hello.
Next question.
Hello, sir. Recently I watched Suhasini ma'am interview. She is a fan of Mammootty and you are a fan of Mohanlal. Why, may I ask, why you choose Mohanlal?
Who said I'm a fan of Mohanlal alone? I'm a fan of both of them. I'm a fan of Fahad, fan of Dulquer. You like good actors. I mean, it's such a, for a director, it's such a great, you know, support, or the burden is completely off when you have a good actor with you, you know, who can bring out details without any effort. So it's a dream to work with a good actor.
Okay, thank you. And second question, why Dulquer not part of Thug Life movie?
Even I want to know why he's not a part of it. I think he had other commitments. I wish he had been there, but that's how life goes. Maybe I'll get another chance to work with him.
Hello, sir. My name is Gautam. I'm the biggest fan of Iduvar, and thank you so much for that film. Tamil Selvan, Anandan, ഒക്കെ എൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൻ്റെ പാർട്ട് തന്നെയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത് ഇത്തരം നമ്മുടെ രാഷ്ട്രീയ കഥാപാത്രങ്ങളും നമ്മുടെ സൊസൈറ്റിയിലുള്ള ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് എന്താണ്, അവരെ കൂടുതൽ മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ടതിൻ്റെ ആവശ്യകത ഉണ്ടോ, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള സിനിമകൾ ഉണ്ടാവേണ്ടതിൻ്റെ ആവശ്യകതകൾ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ്?
So
ரொம்ப ஃபாஸ்டா பேசிட்டாரு.
And
subtitles irukkan paakran.
It is thickly accented too. So I will try to translate it, because it is, I have to translate it from Trichur accent to Malayalam and then Malayalam to English. So he asked, do you go into, are you going to make movies more political based? So are you going to create more political characters like Tamil Selvan?
Yeah, I think Jeyamohan is my favorite writer. If he gives me a script which is politically oriented, then I'll definitely do.
Thank you. Hello, sir. Hello, hi. First I have to acknowledge the fact that I'm very lucky to be standing in front of not just two of my favorite writers, but three. We have Anjali Menon with us. Sir, so my question is to both of you actually. You have written stories like Kanathil Muttavattal, Roja, Bombay, which have characters in the front with very real characters in the front with a backdrop that is very socially or politically relevant. You have written stories like Vindithan in the Card, which is also similarly has a very socially relevant topic in the backdrop of it. So I just wanted to ask both of you, when you start writing a script, what comes first, the plot, the characters, the relationship, or like the relevant idea or the political thought that you want to have in your movie?
Actually, there is a big difference in script writing in Malayalam and Tamil. In Tamil, the script writer completely owns the script and he is writing a complete script. But in Tamil, it's a collective work. So a lot of people are contributing in it. We are developing it in India theme, and we are making movies out of it. So I cannot claim my movies as my movies. I can claim my novels as my novels. That's the difference. So generally we are catering for a bigger audience, you know. Tamil movies are released from Trivandrum to Bhopal directly. So we have a very big spectrum of audience. So we have to select the themes very carefully. It cannot be very regional and it cannot be very subjective. So that's the problem. We are discussing various things, we are connecting various things and finalizing a script. That's the process of script writing in Tamil Nadu.
Hello, sir. It's an honor. Sir, you said you are very critical of your older movies. Like if you watch your older movies, you'll be critical. So how do you turn off your critical lens to enjoy a movie? Like the pleasure of watching it.
Sorry, last part I didn't get.
Like how do you turn off your critical lens while enjoying a movie, to enjoy a movie?
So
Because you said you will be critical if you watch Maniratnam or your older movies. So to enjoy a movie, how do you turn off your critical lens while watching?
Yeah, I think if I watch a good film, I'm just a film goer. That's the best part about it. It's not that you're a filmmaker. I don't look at it that way. If a film takes me into it, I'm just watching just like you would watch. You know, if somebody asks me to, critically look at it, then that time I've looked. But otherwise, as a viewer, when I watch, I just watch a movie. When I watch Bangalore Days, I just watch Bangalore Days. I'm not looking at it critically. I'm just enjoying it like you did.
Sir, on your left, sir. When you sir here, on your left, extreme left, towards the speaker here. Yeah. Hi, sir. So, we know that you are a full-blown atheist in terms of belief in God and all. Am I audible enough, sir? Can you? Yeah. So, I was. Okay. Yeah. So we have seen you handling themes like against religious extremism and terrorism. Specifically in Bombay, we have seen about the how bad it can turn, the extremism of religion. But have you ever, as an audience, I have wondered why haven't the atheism ideals that you hold haven't spilled over to your movies? Because we don't see that in a visible manner. So just wondering over there.
Yeah, I think the shades of it always creeps in. Whatever you believe in will creep into the film, but it's not necessary to wear all your beliefs on your shoulder. You don't have to claim that, look, I'm an atheist. No, you are an atheist, and it will convey seep. Just like you, in some characters will be theists in your films, which is what adds to the dynamics of the entire thing. So it is not something that you have to propagate.
Okay, sir, thank you. So one more question. This is co-record, and we have this great writer Bashir from here. And from your interviews, I know that you are a big fan of Bashir. So can you just comment how he has influenced your ideals of romance?
No, I think as a writer, I think he's just unbelievable. I think every bit. It's not just the romance. I think anything that he writes has so much of flavor, so much of life in it, and the ability to narrate a story so beautifully, is just fantastic. I think is outstanding, and he's very, very influential, not just to me, but to, I think, the entire generation.
Good evening, sir. എൻ്റെ ചോദ്യം ജയമോഹൻ സാറോടാണ്. അതായത് ഈ സെഷൻ്റെ പേര് ആക്ച്വലി അതായത് കഥകൾ സമൂഹത്തെ സ്വാധീനിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ, സമൂഹം കഥയെ സ്വാധീനിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ എന്നാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഒരു ഫേവറേറ്റ് വർക്കാണ് ഈ 100 സിംഹാസനങ്ങൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന നോവൽ. അപ്പോൾ അതിനകത്ത് സമൂഹത്തിൽ ഒരുപാട് സംഭവങ്ങൾ സ്വാധീനിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു നോവൽ പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അത് സമൂഹത്തിനെ എങ്ങനെ സ്വാധീനിക്കുന്നു സാറ് പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് മുന്നേ ചിന്തിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടോ, അതോ ഒരു സാധാരണ നോവൽ പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലെയാണോ ആ നോവൽ പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നത്?
അതായത് ആദ്യത്തെ കാര്യം, ആ നോവൽ എഴുതുന്നതിൻ്റെ പിന്നിൽ ഒരു സോഷ്യൽ റിയാലിറ്റി ഉണ്ട്. ഒറ്റ വരിയിൽ പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ തമിഴ്നാട്ടിലെ ദലിത് IAS ഓഫീസേഴ്സിൽ വളരെ കുറച്ച് ആളുകൾ മാത്രമേ അടുത്തൂൺ പറ്റുന്നവരെ, റിട്ടയർ ആകുന്നവരെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളൂ. മിക്കവാറും ആളുകൾ ഇട്ടെറിഞ്ഞിട്ട് പോവുക ചെയ്യുന്നു. എന്തുകൊണ്ട്? അവിടെയാണ് തുടങ്ങുന്നത്. രണ്ടാമത്, ഈ പറഞ്ഞ കഥയുടെ നായകൻ എനിക്ക് വ്യക്തിപരമായിട്ട് അറിയാവുന്ന ആളാണ്, വളരെ ക്ലോസായി അടുത്ത അറിയാണ്, ഇപ്പോഴും അവർ ജീവിച്ചെടുപ്പുണ്ട്. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു റിയൽ കഥയാണിത്. അപ്പോൾ അത് എഴുതാൻ തുടങ്ങുമ്പോൾ ആദ്യം ഒരു വെർഷൻ എഴുതിയിരുന്നു, 1992 ഒരു വെർഷൻ എഴുതിയിരുന്നു. അതിൽ അവൻ എന്നാണ് ആ കഥയിൽ അഡ്രസ്സ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അത് വർക്കായില്ല, അത് പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്യില്ല. 17 കൊല്ലം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് പിന്നെ അത് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ എന്നെഴുതി. അപ്പോൾ ആ കഥ വർക്കായി. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഒരു കമ്പാഷണൽ അടുപ്പം ഉണ്ടായി. ഞാൻ ആ കഥാപാത്രമായി മാറി ആ ദുഃഖങ്ങളിൽ കൂടി കടന്നു പോവുകയാണ് ചെയ്തത്. അങ്ങനെ ആ കഥ പബ്ലിഷ് ചെയ്തു. അത് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ ആ കഥാപാത്രമായി ജീവിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളത് മാത്രമേ എൻ്റെ ഉദ്ദേശം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നുള്ളൂ. അല്ലാതെ അത് സൊസൈറ്റിയെ മാറ്റണം എന്നല്ല. ടു ലീവ് ലൈക്ക് എ ക്യാരക്ടർ and find something through it. That's the only ambition I am having while I am writing that work. And I published it. Then it became a very big success. And a lot of Dalit organizations republished it. And I allowed them to publish freely. And it's a copyright-free material throughout the world now. I mean, it is published in Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, Bengal, and English. And now it is going to be published in US as an international edition. So it has a deep impact on the outlook of upper caste towards this issue, particularly because a lot of upper caste people have an illusion that the reservation is a kind of concession to the people. It's not a concession, it's a right. That's the message of that text, and I think it is well received by enlightened people throughout the world.
I'm a big fan of that story.
Thank you. So only one question, the time is over.
Danger Party.
Hello. Lovely to hear both of you, sir. Jeyamohan, sir, hello. Mani, sir, as always, it's a pleasure to hear you. My question was actually about, a lot of people spoke about the women in your film. I actually love the men in your film.
Thank you.
Because there's so much of a debate about toxic masculinity and all of that now. And it's been really interesting to watch the men evolve, right from the first films all the way till now. And at no point can we really point out. So I think that can only be a very conscious decision on your part, and that's part of your worldview. And Jeyamohan, sir, you too, please, feel free to answer this. How much of effort goes into it? And, what would you suggest to other filmmakers about that? Would love to know. Just to add, recently I heard someone say, this boy wanted to refer to himself as a gentleman before the girl, and he said, well, I'm like a Maniratnam hero.
I don't know if all the heroes were gentlemen. But I think when male characters are portrayed, we take it as normal. When a woman comes in strongly, we all notice on. Otherwise, I think the effort is the same. I think, and it's not a very conscious thing. It is intrinsic to the storytelling. It is the theme that drives you and the characters that you're trying to talk. The fact that they're male and female becomes an incidental thing. You don't start off saying, I'm going to say this about the male and about the female. And it just evolves. I don't think it's a conscious effort at all.
See, Anjali, there's an answer for your question that every protagonist in a work is actually an enhancement of the author himself. So, I know Mani for last few years, and almost all male characters in the movies are his inner self and variations of his inner self.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. In fact, even the decision to take a film like Kaatruvelidai, where you actually show how toxic someone can be, that is awesome. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for giving us those characters.
Thank you. Thank you for
only person who has thanked me for Kaatruvelidai is you.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful. Lovely.